Okay, my name is Zangvajani. You are watching this on my YouTube channel or my Instagram IGTV, and this is me reacting to Inside Outtakes released by Bo Burnham yesterday. It was released on May 30th, Monday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Today is Tuesday, May 31st. May 31st. May 31st. I guess the thing is, if I can't focus on one thing, I focus on one thing. If that makes sense. If I can't focus on another thing, I focus on one thing. Which is one word, one thing, one symbolic, and a form, and a plastic hyperbolism personification. Okay, well, this is me reacting to Bo Burnham's Inside Outtakes songs, all of them, the new ones at least. The rest of the thing is the actual outtakes, the whole thing. I'm planning on watching that entirely on its own when I have time tomorrow, hopefully. Today, I mean. I keep thinking of tomorrow because I'm living in the future. You'll get that in a second. There you go. I'll start from the beginning. All these new songs that someone compiled on YouTube. We're listening to this video will probably get copyright claimed by probably not Bo Burnham, probably by just YouTube. So I'm not gonna be able to monetize this video. But point is, I don't really care about monetization because I'm just trying to learn. And I started my YouTube journey a year ago, more than a year ago really. I've always been on YouTube. I've lurked on YouTube for 7-8 years. But let's go. We can't wait any longer. I can keep pausing it because reacting is reacting. Wake up every morning at 9:45. Like, am I dying? Is this real? Alright, it's this again. I'm awoken by my daughter as she jumps in my bed. I'm only kidding. I don't have a kid. I can't understand. Am I stressed? It's anyone's guess. I'll bother getting better when I bother getting dressed. Is it gonna end? Be vibing. Watch me dance. Living in the future. I'm living in the future. I'm living in the future. Make it to the shower by 1:45. This bottle shampoos and conditions. It's a 2-for-1. I draw a little doggy on the fold of the glass, just like the ones I used to draw back in geometry class. Am I depressed? No, yes, yeah. Yes. I'll bother getting better when I bother getting dressed. Am I kinda high? That's what I thought. I bought an app to help me meditate. It didn't work. I'm living in the future. 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 I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel. Can you teach me how to feel good? I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel. Give me a specific direction, counteracting magic, making my own past and my own. On how I can feel good. I just wanna feel good. Not even close to kidding. Write it in an email. She looks for her glasses. I'm a FaceTime with my mom tonight.
Why do I wear jeans? I wear jeans because jeans don't watch the news. Jeans don't read Twitter. Jeans are just jeans. So if you're tired of the bullshit, the politics,
Wear jeans.
Arguing. Buy some jeans. And find out why jeans
Wear
are jeans.
Baby, it's me.
This is one of the best songs
Our
I've ever
anniversary's
found.
coming up. It's a pretty big one. And I wrote a song for you. So I'm just leaving you this voicemail because I want the song to begin with this voicemail. Like I want the voicemail to play at the beginning of it. So if you could just download this voicemail when you get it and then text it to me. You might need to like download another app to download the. I don't know if you can rip your voicemail right off your phone. You might need to like just Google it. Don't call me and ask me because I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna get this and you're gonna think you just can't do it and you're gonna call me. But then I'm just gonna Google it. So just you Google it. You're an adult. You can figure it out. So just figure it out and text me the voicemail immediately if you wouldn't mind. Like right when you get this. Thank you. I love you. Bye.
You're my best friend. I love you. You know me, and I know you.
How are you?
We got problems that we've been through. We got shit that we'll get through. You think I'm rude to you. You think I am the worst because I ask when you suck my dick. You take out your Invisalign first. Come on, 5 years, still you, still me, still here. 5 years,
5 years. This song was
baby.
sang by
5
Bo Burnham
years, 5
in the Largo
years.
Theater
We order
2016.
Chinese,
He
I
just
eat
been,
ting, my
he never
dumplings.
finished it.
You reach
And then
over
he
and you
finished it.
take my dumpling.
This is
You
Bo
don't even
Burnham.
say do you
He's
mind or
fucking Bo
nothing.
Burnham.
Why would you assume that you're entitled to a dumpling?
He's a genius.
So I look
Goddamn
at you,
genius.
you look back at me like what the fuck did I do? If you really wanted
Yeah, I know
something,
artist.
something, you really should have gotten some when we put
Oh,
in the
talk too
order. You say
much.
you're a psycho, and I don't wanna fuck.
Let's listen to it from the beginning again.
Baby, big one. So I'm just leaving you this voicemail because
And we'll just
I want
vibe
the song
while we're
to
talking.
begin with this voicemail. Like I want the voicemail to play at the beginning of it. So if you could just download this voicemail when you get it and then text it to me. You might need to like download another app to download the. I don't know if you can rip your voicemail right off your phone. You might need to like just Google it. Don't call me and ask me because I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna get this and you're gonna think you just can't do it and you're gonna call me. But then I'm just gonna Google it. So just you Google it. You're an adult. You can figure it out. So just figure it out and text me the voicemail immediately if you wouldn't mind. Like right when you get this. Thank you. I love you. Bye.
No, it's ironic because he made the voicemail.
You're my best friend.
Yeah, just
I love
love you.
You know me, and I know you. We got problems that we've been through. We got shit
You gotta get through.
that we'll get through. You think I'm rude to you. You think I am the worst because I ask when you suck my dick. You take out your Invisalign first. Come on, 5 years,
5 years.
still you, still
Still
me,
me,
still
still
here.
here.
5 years,
5 years.
baby. 5 years, 5 years. We order Chinese, I'm eating my dumplings. You reach over and you take my dumpling. You don't even say do you mind or nothing. Why would you assume that you're entitled to a dumpling? So I look at you, you look back at me like what the fuck did I do? If you really wanted some dim sum then, you really should have gotten some when we put in the
He
order.
made
You
this
say you're a
right after
psycho,
somewhere
and
around Make
I
Happy
don't wanna
on
fight,
Largo
so
Theater. Someone
then just
recorded
drop
it,
this. It's not a
posted
big
it on Reddit at some
deal.
point.
Okay, but for
And I
the
downloaded
record,
it, and
you
I-
owe me
None of
a
it since last year of
dumpling.
November,
I mean
but
it. I won't forget. You owe me a dumpling or a dumpling equivalent. 5 years, 5 years, still you, still me, still here. 5 years, 5 years, baby. 5 years, 5 years. We found spider in the house. You freaked and you jumped up onto the couch. Since I was close and able, I jumped up on the coffee table. You said you should kill that. I said no, fuck that. You said come on, be a man. What? You're a total anti-sexist, a patriarchy fighter, but your whole worldview collapses the moment there's a spider. Cool, I get it, this is the real you, it's a pleasure, nice to
Let's
meet
analyze it
you.
one more time from the beginning.
So I'm just leaving you this voicemail because
So that's what a reaction
I want
truly
the
is.
song to
It's an interpretation.
begin with this voicemail. Like I want the voicemail to play in the beginning of it. You're gonna Google it out.
I love
Love you. Bye.
I'll start.
you, my best
Best
friend.
friend.
I love
Love you. You
you, know me, and I know you.
know you.
We got problems that we've been through. We got shit that we'll get through. You think I'm rude to you. You think I am the worst because I ask when you suck my dick. You take out your Invisalign first. Come on. 5 years, still you, still me, still here. 5 years, baby. 5 years, 5 years. We order Chinese, I need things like dumplings. You reach over and you take my dumpling. You don't even say, do you mind?
Start from the beginning.
Like, am I dying? Is this real? Alright,
All of, yeah, all of them.
wake up every morning.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs. 8 new songs. And an outtake that is 63 minutes long. But this will be encapsulated in my memory. In the future. Living in the future. In the future.
Make it to the shower by 1:45. This bottle shampoos and conditions, it's a 2 for 1. I draw a little doggy on the fog of the glass, just like the ones I used to draw back in geometry class. Am I depressed? Stressed? It's anyone's guess. I'll bother getting better when I bother getting dressed. Am I kinda hot?
I'm an introspector.
That's what I thought. I bought an actor.
I'm old
It didn't work. I'm living in the future. I'm living in the future.
I'm an introspector, I'm aware, I'm a seeker, I'm a pleaser. People pleaser.
I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel. Can you teach me how to feel good? I just wanna feel good.
Pretty big one. 2. So if you could just download, you need to like your voicemail right me and ask me because I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna get this and you're gonna think you just can't do it.
Today
You're gonna call me,
is,
but then I'm
just to
gonna
remind you
Google it.
again, it's
So just you Google it. You're an adult,
May
you can figure it out.
31st, Tuesday.
So just
Yesterday was May
figure it out and
30th,
text me a
Monday.
voicemail,
He posted this
immediately,
8
if you wouldn't
p.m.
mind.
Central
Like,
Time, 6
Thank you.
p.m.
I love you. Bye.
Pacific Time, I think, in California or Los Angeles where he was. So it was just normal time for him, evening. But he's always been an evening guy.
I know you.
If you get my sentiment. I always think he's always generalized towards that, if you know what I mean.
We got shit that we'll get through. You think I'm rude to you. You think I am the worst.
2. Because so just
You're my best friend.
thank you. I love you. Bye.
You're my best friend. I love you.
You're my best friend. You know me and I know you. I'm just writing the lyrics down, and I know you.
We got problems that
We've got
I know you. We got problems that we've been
problems.
through. We got problems that we've been through. We got shit that we'll get through. We got shit that we've been through. We got shit that we'll get through.
Shit.
We got problems that we've been through. We got shit that we'll get through. We got shit that
We got shit. Oh.
we'll get through. We got shit that we'll get through. You think I'm rude to you?
Nothing was the point. Okay.
I get a lot of questions from young people. They'll say, how can I create content that will cut through the noise? And I tell them, be yourself. Okay? Because the landscape is so competitive. There are so many people with so many different skills. The only thing you really have to offer at the end of the day is yourself. So offer yourself by being yourself. And if that doesn't work, then I get a lot of questions from young people. They'll say, how can I create content that will cut through the noise? And I tell them that will cut through the noise. And I tell them, be
And I tell them,
yourself. Okay? Because the landscape is so competitive. There are so many people with so many different skills. The only thing you really have to offer at the end of the day is yourself. So offer yourself by being yourself.
offer yourself. Self. By being yourself.
Yourself. And if that doesn't work, then be somebody else. Because you may suck. Who you are on a fundamental, sort of unchangeable level may just be uninteresting and unwatchable and useless. So if you're that, be somebody else for sure. Watchable. May just on a fundamental
He's really teaching you shit, so we gotta take it out.
level may just be uninteresting. And unwatchable and useless. So if you're that, be somebody else for sure. And useless.
Not unwatchable or useless. No one is. Some people may feel like they are like that at a fundamental level. I just have
So if you're
anxiety.
that, be somebody
Generalized
else for
anxiety
sure.
disorder.
And then if that doesn't work, then go like this.
They're really gonna make me vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden. How is the best case scenario, Joe
Biden.
Biden? They're really
Biden.
gonna make me vote
I understand why
for
these
Joe
reaction videos
Biden.
take like 100 hours. But 1 hour, half an hour, 15 minutes.
How is the best case
Yo,
scenario,
Joe
Welcome
Biden.
back to another video.
Biden?
This is catchy. I can probably sing along to it. Joe Biden. That was the best
They're
case.
really gonna
Makes
make
me
me
vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden. He actually posted it yesterday because yesterday was the anniversary of the 1 year anniversary of Insight. Biden. Because it came out and got released on Netflix. And I watched it. I watched it. Not on that day. Probably on the 29th. But it was on the 29th. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Disney Joe.
Insiders, welcome back to another video. So today, we're going to be learning how to make the perfect peanut butter sandwich. I've been eating these things for basically every meal for the last 6 months. So let's get started. First, grab a plate. I'm using a paper
This
plate.
reminds me
I
of
know
the
they're
skit,
bad for the environment, but
I
I'd rather
mean,
put a
from
gun in
Make
my
Happy
mouth than do
that he
another
made.
dish. Next up,
And he was like
the
shit-faced
bread.
making a peanut
I
butter
ran
jelly
out of the
sandwich.
good pieces of bread, so I have to use
And
those weird
that was so
end
funny.
pieces. Not ideal, but we'll
Or like
make
an
it work.
imaginary wife or
Next up,
girlfriend
grab
or
your
something.
peanut butter. I don't currently
His
have
other
the
special,
top
Make
to my
Happy,
peanut butter
on
because
Netflix
I'm
as
using
well,
it as an ashtray.
which
Now
I've
that you
watched
got your
countless
peanut
dozens
butter,
of times
grab a
because
utensil and start spreading.
internet is
I'm using a
fickle.
plastic fork
And
because,
you can only
like I
watch
said,
shit that
I
is
refuse to do
downloaded
dishes
half the
ever
time.
again in my
So
fucking
you
life,
just do that
and
on
I
your
ran out of
laptop.
plastic knives. I know some of you in the comments section will complain about me using plastic, but I bet you wouldn't say that shit to my face in real life. If this shit ever ends and we go outside again, I dare you to step up to me in the street. Try me. Try me! Step up, fucking pussies! You think I'm fucking right? There you have it. The perfect peanut butter sandwich.
And this is just a peanut butter. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. There's peanut butter. There's not peanut butter. No, but it's on a controlled basis where it's almost the same thing. Because he's articulating the same feelings from Make Happy, but he's making it in a different way where it's more progressive in a different light. Because which is kind of funny during quarantine. A lot of people got into baking bread and sourdough and just shit ton of bread. So this is just vaguely relevant to quarantine in 2020 and 2021. I mean, mostly 2020 because people just got so into baking and baking bread. I'm saying Bajani, by the way. the 8th and final song. It's been 25 minutes. This is a song about chicken, apparently.
The chicken wakes up like she does every morning to the sounds of her husband's screams. Sat in the dark on the egg she is warming. She closes her eyes and dreams of walking to Memphis.
I usually sit in my media room at home because it's the most peaceful place.
She likes her life as a mother and wife, but is that all she is? She stares out the window. The very next morning, the chicken decides to make her escape.
By the way, it's almost the end of the video and almost when I'm going to finish wrapping up this video. So I just want to say that today is May 31st, Tuesday. 6:45 a.m. I took a shower in the morning and I don't feel fine because I feel like I'm shit-faced and I'm always a little bit alarmed. I'm gonna make a little song right now. I already did make a little song, but days bleed, days end, nights are another mend. I'm just a man sitting on the sidewalk, looking at the trees, trying to make his way to his destiny. There you go. My little treat to you, a tiny little song. My parents are going to wake up in a little while. I sometimes wonder, why am I so anxious all the time? Why do I have panic attacks? Why can't I sleep regularly, even when it's a fudging school day? Is it because of quarantine? No. The problem is persistence since middle school, really. But the more so the problem of the question, or the persistent accusation of the question, is more so that I don't really know what I'm saying half of the time.
Suddenly sees the thing she's only dreamed of. Just up ahead, gophers run through a meadow. Dear Grace, birds sing.
By the way, this video is not going to be monetized because it's using copyrighted music, and I don't really care. Bo Burnham is an artist. This came out a day ago. This might not, the copyright law might not exactly do it, but I might still do it. It doesn't really matter to me because we as an artist never really care about money. Money is a beneficiary. It's a good life net.
A sea of trees and green and moss, waiting just across the road. A life of brighter days, the width of road away. The road is gigantic, the chicken is little. She moves ahead, left, right,
This is
right,
amazing.
left, right.
Bo
All
Burnham,
of a
you are
sudden,
fucking
she
genius.
stops in the middle, frozen
Sorry
in
for
place
kissing.
by a pair of
You can't handle
headlights.
it.
It's
Get the fuck out
anyone's
of here.
guess what then happened
I'm
next,
almost an
but
18-year-old.
most
I've been
think
cursing for a while.
she died. But I think we
Turning 18
ought
August
to
18.
believe that she got to
Just trying to finish
be
it off.
a
Senior year starts fall.
So
Trying to finish my summer. Finish summer school. Look at film history.
did it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what it is. What the fuck is going on? I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what it is. Is going on? What the fuck 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 is going on?
December.
What the fuck is going on?
May 29. He finished this literally like a day before.
Wake up.
Anniversary's coming up. It's a pretty big one.
Plus,
It's me. Our anniversary's coming up. It's a pretty big one. And I wrote a song for you. Like a voicemail. Load voicemail.
You're my
best friend,
I
I love you, love you.
You
You
know
know
me.
me, and I know you, know you.
We got problems that we've been through.
We got problems that we've been through. We got shit that we'll get through, get through.
You think I'm rude to you. You think I am the worst.
You think I am the worst. I am an artist as well. I write poetry. I'm actually publishing a book this year called The Poetry of Emphasis. It should come out sometime in June, hopefully. If there's no delays. June. The latest, July. I just have to transcribe all of it. I've been writing for 4 years on and off in my poetry journal. There's a lot in there. You really realize as a person that even though you're not the same person as you were in 2019, those same words still reflect that the person you are today. Which is really true. They still do reflect me, but they're not me, if that makes sense. I'm not the same person I was 4 years ago. I'm not the same person I will be in 4 years. I'm not the same person I'll be in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. I can only be the person I am in the present. And then when I figure that out, that's what I'm trying to do, is just figure out the fucking present. I'm so tired. People just don't understand me. But you're just a camera. You're just a camera. You're an audience. You're an unseen audience. You're people that I'll never meet in real life. You're just an unseen audience. You're just strangers in the wild that can only hurt me with your comments. But what can I do with those comments? I can shove them up my ass, or I can take them and gulp them down and move on. But I am not one who falters. I falter many times. I'm not one that gives up, that is. I'm not one that tries to make amends and actually gratifies his own reflection. You understand that you can never really be a friend with someone unless you understand how it is to become a friend. And then when you become a friend, based on my own personal experiences, when I was in 9th grade, I had a friend. No names, no nothing, because this is all anonymous, nothing matters, but people out there, if they watch it, they'll know. They'll understand that friendships are complicated. You can't falter. You can't make one wrong step. You can make billions of wrong steps even in a friendship, but you can't compromise a friendship unless you do something so wild and insane that I've done. Like, how could I tell a girl that I would kill myself if she wouldn't be with me on Discord? Why would I be a sociopath? I'm not that same person I was in 2020 that said that to a girl in a Camp server of all places, a Camp Campbell server, a fandom server of all places, to a staff member, and then I got banned there 4 times because I kept trying to enter in with different usernames and different accounts. But the point is that my friend, my ex-friend, my acquaintance now, because we're all in the same social circle, because I was the one who introduced him to my social circle in the first place in 9th grade. Let's call him James. Okay? James is a nice guy. He's a good person. He works really hard. He has lots of beliefs. He's gay. I'm bi. I've known him since 9th grade because of Spanish too. Miss Calderon's class. Not naming names, sorry. I have to be totally anonymous. But it doesn't really matter because no one really cares, because James is James, and James will just never get through his mind that I made a mistake. I made a dire mistake. I've apologized 1,000,000,000 times through, 100 times through, but James just won't understand. James is a person who just won't understand. But he does understand. He knows hundreds of billions of things. He is super smart. James likes me as a person, but dislikes some of my traits. But he doesn't understand that I have a wild and exuberant personality. I'm always just a little bit, flirtatious, a little bit outgoing, a little bit whoever I am. I'm always bold and brash. Sometimes I think without thinking twice, and I say the wrong thing. Unintentionally. Not because I want to, but because my mind is brash. Because I don't think twice. Because sometimes my headspace isn't where it's supposed to be. I'm just thinking. For goddamn sake, I can never stop fucking thinking. I'm just a man that's trying to become a man. I'm just a kid who's 17 years old, becoming 18, and then trying to become a man in his mid-20s, trying to get his life together, finish high school, go to college, like any other normal human being. I have aspirations, I have goals. James has aspirations, he has goals. He's in GSA club, he's in poetry club. He is good at what he does. James understands that humans are fundamentally flawed. That he knows that even though I've made mistakes, my other friend Husto, he knows that James, he's also friends with the James, but James is never going to ever really confront the reality of his own actions, because I've confronted my actions time and time again. He always confronts them, but in an outwardly sort of way. I've known him for the past 3 years on and off, and COVID and everything, and he talks to me as if I'm a ghost, but he only talks to me indirectly, like someone's talking in a conversation, or if my friend's talking to me, he interjects, or he completes my sentences, or like he completes my question or whatever, but it's because there's someone else there, but he's not talking to me directly. He never can ever really talk to me directly nowadays because of my actions that I did in 10th grade. It was one poetry club meeting. I intentionally said the thing that happened, but he was who he was, He is still who he is. He has his beliefs. He believes what he believes. I have my beliefs. I have my choices. I can move on. He moves on, but in different ways, just like everyone else. But my point is, I'm just so upset because I lost a good friend, I don't really want him to be my friend again, because I don't care anymore. We're just casual acquaintances at this point, because all of our friend groups, all of our people we meet, all these people were all conjoined in that area because I'm the one that introduced them to other people, in a sense, because of a thing called four points of separation, or four links of separation, where everyone knows each other by 4 links or whatever, because of Facebook or something. There was this Facebook study, and my mind is like a bullet train. It never stops. I'm always thinking because I can never stop thinking. If I stop thinking, I'll die. I get sleep every now and then. I always worry. Why can I never maintain these good friendships that I have? Like David, my good friend David. He's more of like a casual friend now. In elementary school and I guess this video is more of like a confession in a sense, and a reaction, and just life in general, because that's what Bo Burnham does. He makes people bring their confessions to society. Wait 1 second. I know that audience retention is hard. People find it hard to just stay sitting or listening. But my Chromebook is gonna die soon. It's 17%. I'm 17, ironically. Not coincidental. But the point is, I have a problem with maintaining good friends. I have so many casual friends. So many friends I can call friends because I've known them for a long time. I wouldn't say anyone is ever a casual acquaintance of mine because I don't consider anyone an acquaintance anymore. I consider them friends. And consider somebody who knows me in any level a friend, because no one really knows me. They only know the outer layer. They only know the outer layer. James, like I said, I can never really say his real name because I don't want to tell anyone who he is, because that would be too obvious. But it's already obvious because of all the other details I've already said. And whenever this video is posted, it'll be said in the end that we're all just humans. We're all just flawed. We're all so flawed, so fucking flawed. We're so flawed. Every time we think of something, we can never be perfect, but we can always try. We can always get better. But I am just so tired. Because I understand. I make logical fallacies every now and then, like every normal person. I contradict myself 100 times a day. My actions never make sense half the time. I'll come back 1 second. Let me just get the charger. Just remember that if I leave you with one thing today, May 31st, 2020, 7:02 a.m., it is that life is hard. And you just gotta get through it. Like Steve Jobs used to say, and other people, man, this is a saying, but I always live by this motto: live every day as if it is your last day. Because then you feel gracious and like you understand the value of it. Because, I mean, I guess I can come back for the charger later. I have a little bit of time before this fully dies anyways. But the point is that I'm trying to make is I am flawed. I am deeply flawed. I'm a human being that never can really articulate the human representation of society. I can never stop because I've got problems that we've been through. We all got shit that we'll get through. You think I'm rude to you. You think I am. You're my best friend. I love you. 5 years, 5 years. But Burnham is correct. This is a reaction commentary video. This is a confession. This is life. I'm always so tired, but I'm not tired of society or life or my mind. I'm tired of my mind. I'm tired of thinking so much. I'm tired. But I'm not tired of people. People are what make me happy. I'm tired of my restlessness in a sense, because I can never stop tiring out. So in a sense, I'm just stuck in this cycle of tired. 1 second. I think I actually have to get the charger. Now it's only like 15%, my Chromebook. Administered by the school as well. We'll get into that later. ironically, this is a media room as well. Not ironically, just like pretty. It's the only one room where I can actually articulate myself in proper light. I'm back, by the way. If you didn't know. Here's the thing. Bo Burnham is 31, 32 years old. He has gone through so many experiences in his life as an artist that's been putting out art. Arting is what I like saying. I mean, I guess I could go for the whole full hour. I got 13 minutes. So I could go more, but I've seen videos on YouTube that are 10 hours long. People manage to finish them. My throat just never stops itching. My throat never stops itching. My body won't stop flinching. My body won't stop flinching. My body won't stop itching. My body won't stop kissing. I'm just a man trying to keep his mind together. My throat is itching. Bob Burnham was right in his inspirational video thing. Fundamental, unchangeable, uninteresting, unwatchable, useless. Act not normal for 1 minute. How can I create content that will cut through the noise? Offer yourself by being yourself. Be somebody else. Sometimes the best option is being somebody else because you can't be yourself unless you understand and get a different vantage point. Like Jim Carrey, he has had a gracious career for 40 plus years and he retired this year after Sonic 2, ironically. But he's probably going to come back at some point, but the point is he's an actor. He needs a race. He needs a rest. He's been through so much tragedy in his life. One of his girlfriends or something killed herself. He's done so many movies. He's done so many things. He's an artist. He paints political paintings and stuff. He has stuff. Point is, I relate myself with media since I've grown up with watching media since 2. My first movie was Superman Returns with Brain and Routh. I've always loved DC more than Marvel, but I love both of them. I love both of them because I grew up with both of them. That's why I watched the new Doctor Strange movie 2 days after it came out on like a illegal streaming service or something. Because you gotta show the true side, right? Am I right? Yeah. I'm only able to really shoot a video today because of the perfect conditions. I shaved a couple of days ago. I don't look shit-faced. I look fine. I guess since I know that the only person that can really articulate the understanding of man is man himself. Because I'm a philosopher as well. I read philosophy books. I have been for a while. But the point is that, like, as a poet, as a philosopher, as a singer, songwriter, as a businessman trying to go to college for business and minor in English, trying to work my way towards success, trying to publish my book, trying to do so many things in this world because no one will look at you unless you make a move. Like, I want to get out of the friend zone so badly. But, like, there's like, oh, look at these, just do these 5 steps. Just do these fucking 5 steps. But I think it's more so that, like, you don't have to fucking do those 5 steps. You're left with 5 options, really. But, like, you're left with different ways to get to the same vantage point, the same area, but by just doing different things. But there's so many videos out there to get out of the friend zone. But the point is, it's not just videos. It's more like man, women, human beings, trans people, non-binary, gender fluid, all of the people on the LGBTQ spectrum. Because I'm also like I'm bisexual. I've been bi since 8th grade, since I came out. I had a crush on this girl named Adriana. She was in our friend group. She was always nice. I even gave her like a Valgram one time, or like a Valentine thing, like a whatever, I don't know, freshman year or something, back when our friendship was still technically strong at that point. It was still there. She was one of the first people that I told that I was bi to, and she never gave up on me, and she was always nice, and she always had that crude humor to her, like Alaska and Looking in Alaska. Or like Looking for Alaska, that John Green book that he wrote. Point is that I'm so tired of myself because I can never 5 years. Here's the thing. I know Bo Burnham lurks on YouTube. He said it in other things before. He watches YouTube itself. He watches the platform. He watches the engagement. He watches how it has shaped as a platform. In 2018, he did a podcast with Ethan Klein on the H3 podcast when he was promoting his movie 8th Grade. And he talked about his anxiety, his panic attacks on stage, his how he was able to actually like break out as a YouTuber, as like a viral YouTuber in the early 2000s because it was the right time to become viral. You can still become viral now. It's not impossible, but it's just much harder because everything's mainstream. The point is, like, I've been on the internet since I was 2 years old, really, if you think about it. But I've really only been on the internet since I was like 9 or 10 or 8 or whatever, because I'm a Nintendo kid. I have a Switch, I have a Wii. I had like a PS2 at one point, but then we had to give it away or something like that. I don't know. But I've always been into games, video games. I've always been cultured. Because I've lived in America almost all my life. Trying to get DACA currently. Trying to work on stuff. Since I've been here since I was 2. I live in Texas. Texas is fine. Sometimes I wonder, will James ever see me the way I see him? I see him as an amazing human being. He's great. He is articulate. He works hard. He's friends with my friend Husto. I don't want to dox anybody, so I never say their last name intentionally. I'm not saying James's real name because he wouldn't like it. I know that for sure. He's a guy who just doesn't like being... I think he might also be... but he might not be. And that's probably why I lost Lane. Let's get into that now, I guess. Okay. Formerly, Lane's real name, or dead name, was Leah. And he, since I'm using past tense, I can still say that she, before, when they were she, and now they're he, when they were she, in the past, since I've known him since I was in elementary school, and because they've, I'll just use the neutral they because I can still lend a hand to both parties in one sense, but without misgendering him. But he has always been nice to me. I've always loved him. At the time I loved her because I can say she because this is past tense. I'm not talking about him as if he's there, but I'm just gonna go through it with my story. Okay, so Leah, initially, they've always been kind. We've always been friends. There's been some general animosity throughout the last few years in our friendship, kind of turbulent. I didn't ever really want that. It's also because James has become friends with Elaine, and I think they might, get together or something because now Leah became Lane or something like that, but it doesn't really matter because James doesn't care. What does James care about? What does James care about? James cares about ruining friendships, right? No, he doesn't. He doesn't care. He has this worldview of seeing other people's problems as not his own problems sometimes, but he sees their problems and he articulates it and he understands it. He is a friend with Elaine. He is friends with him He introduced me to Camp Campbell, the animated show on Rooster Teeth. Has 4 seasons, amazing. I bought a T-shirt because of him, because I loved him. I still love him because I'm bi. 1 second. You know what? No, it's okay. Okay, here's the thing. Like this says, self-awareness, right? Self-awareness. We're both self-aware. James and me are both self-aware. He is self-aware in a lot of places in his mind. He understands everything. He's very smart. He passes all of his classes. He is very extroverted and introverted. And he's just like an ambivert like me. That's how we got so along. And we were friends for a whole solid school year before the incident happened in COVID. COVID was really the breaking point that happened to everyone. I've had depression for 6 years, but I'm getting therapy, hopefully in a little while, with a physical therapist, not like a real, like a therapist, and not like a summer therapist that I had last year. Miss Roseanne, she's amazing. She's the most kindest therapist I've ever met. I never checked up with her, but in those 20, 15, 10 sessions we had, or whatever it was throughout the summer, we ended in August or something last year. It was like just for the summer and everything. I'm pretty sure it was always just good to know that I had someone. That was my family, because everyone knows that you can't talk to your family about every single problem that you have. Your family is there for support, but they can't help you all the time. You can't fudging trauma dump them. You can't fuck up your life, because then you'll realize that that everyone institutionalized. Everyone has morals. Everyone has morals. Everyone has, like, look, and here it says introspectors. They're clear on who they are, but they don't challenge their own viewers' searches for blind spots by getting feedback. This can harm their relationships and limit their success. I'm aware, I'm a seeker, and I'm a pleaser. I'm all 4 of these, but I think I'm more of like an introspector and a seeker. I don't please people as much, and I'm aware, but they know what they want to accomplish and seek and value. This is where leaders begin to fully realize the true benefits of self-awareness. Seekers, they don't yet know who they are, what they stand for, how their teams see them. As a result, they might feel stuck or frustrated with their performance and relationships. Pleasers, they can be so focused on appearing a certain way to others that they could be overlooking what matters to them. Over time, they tend to make choices that are in service of their own success and fulfillment. I'm a pleaser. I'm a people pleaser, I think, in a sense. I don't want to be. I want to be aware. But I think over time, I've just been like always wanting attention. I'm an attention seeker. I guess I have some FOMO, It's gone over an hour, but that's fine. Maybe I'll do it exactly an hour 27, just as a homage to like Bo Burnham's Inside special. I mean, I guess I could, but like, think about it. Like, does it really need to be an hour 27? It took him a whole year, to make it an hour 27, an hour 30. Make a beautiful special that affected everyone. When it came out last year, I saw on the day. I was at my cousin's house. We went to their patio. We went in their gazebo, talked, listened to music. I was very disinterested in talking more, so they were just talking in the gazebo. and with my family and eating food and stuff like that. Then I went back in their house, watched their TV, finished the majority of Inside, went home, finished the rest of Inside. Then I finished it the first time. I watched it 10 more times. I watched it 5 more times after that. I've watched it 100 times over. I watched it many times. But the point is, like, I've appreciated that art comes in many mediums. People are artists. Every person is a different artist. No matter what disability they have, no matter what has happened to them, they all contribute to society in one way or another. There's 7 billion, 8 billion people on this world. By 10 years, there'll probably be 12 billion. Who knows? We just have to sustain life, I guess. But here's also, like, I guess I could title this video reaction, but it's no longer a reaction. It's more like Inside Outtakes commentary. Songs, commentary on the songs and the genre of Inside and what make happy, words, all past 8th grade, my most viewed video was White Woman's Instagram, to be honest. I think it was because I did it literally at the peak of when the everything came. I released it last year in June, so it was at the peak of when the special came out May 30th. So I posted it June 2nd, right when everyone was intrigued by that song and by those songs and everything. I posted a mirage of covers and everything. I've posted lots of songs on here on my YouTube channel and on my IGTV and my whatever. Point is that I'm trying to make is that I probably won't be able to put this on my IGTV, but I'll be able to put this on my YouTube, so that's fine. I'm probably able to put like a chunk of it on IGTV, just so that I can have some engagement. But at the end of the day, who am I? Who am I joking with? No one. I'm not joking with anyone. I'm just joking with myself. I'm not the Joker. I hate that movie because it doesn't show depression or mental illness as how it really is. It only intensifies it to a array of feelings and sadness and stuff like that it never really is. It's a barrage of things. Mental illness is, there's people that have DID, like Moon Knight, like the person in Moon Knight. There's people that have, there are people that that DID is dissociative identity disorder, where there's multiple hosts and multiple like alters and like they have different stuff and everything. The point is that like people are going through so much. People have OCD. Some people have lots of stuff. And now I have intuition that like it's what 7:21. Everyone's gonna wake up in like a little while. I'm fine. I mean, I could make it to 1 hour 27, or maybe longer. This video is really an outtake if you think about it. This video reminds me of Community, the show on Netflix, on Amazon Prime, and it's kind of funny that they removed that episode of D&D, the first one, just because Chang was wearing blackface for the elf and everything. It wasn't really blackface, more like it was basically blackface, but he wasn't really doing blackface. He was doing blackface, but he wasn't doing it intentionally. It was in the script, and it was how Chang performed the black elf or whatever. And I just think of the timeline episode, where like it's like 6 different timelines, and it's the party or something at like Abed and Troy's house, and Shirley, Annie, Britta, Jeff, Troy, Abed, they all sit around, and Jeff throws dice into the air because they were gonna play they were gonna choose who gets the pizza from the pizza man, and he always made it. Jeff always made it where it would never land on him, so every time it would land on someone else. So Abed would say, "Do you know you're creating 6 different timelines now, Jeff?" And he says, "Yeah, sure, I am." And then it just happens over and over and over, and then the worst timeline or whatever is like when all this crazy shit happens. Troy loses his voice. Something happens to all the main characters. Britta gets a blue streak in her hair. That's the only thing really. Britta's really the same. She's just a narcissistic asshole. But she's not an asshole. She's the therapist. She's really the mom of the group. If it wasn't for Britta, I think we wouldn't have the study group. We wouldn't have community. Everyone dismisses Britta as just the funny girl or just the quirky girl who just becomes so not who she was in season 1. And by the end of season 6, she is who she is. She's Britta. She's Britta. She's someone that despises her parents, that moved away to New York, did some stuff. She was an anarchist. She did some lots of stuff, protests and all this stuff. But she knew in her heart of heart that she could never do what she wanted to do. If you know what I mean. And I want to do so much in this world. I want to leave a legacy. I want to finish writing my book. I want to publish it in June, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Transcribe it. I think I can transcribe it myself. I don't need my mom to do it. I just need to finish transcribing it. It'll be quick and easy and painful. I just think if I publish it by June on Amazon, I'll be able to get my book some commissions over the summer because I've been making it for 4 years. So it even has some songs in there, but I might not include all the songs because songs are poems and poems are songs and poems are raps. But I even made a song recently called I'm Just a Man Singing in the Shower, Dancing in the Rain, Trying to Make Solace in His Pain. It's a whole song that I made on here, and I even recorded a video of me singing while I was in the shower, that song, and it's 25 minutes long as well, but that's why I have to cut it down. Here's I'm flawed. I am deeply flawed. My family is flawed as well. We all have problems. My dad and mom fight. My sister is bothered sometimes. She's going to 10th grade. I'm going into 12th grade. I got held back in kindergarten, but who cares? I've always had Daniel. I've always had Sahir. I've always had someone there. I've always had David. I've always had someone there. I've always had a strong support group. I've had Ryan. I've had Anthony. I've had Adam. I've had all these people in my life. I've had Bria. Bria. I never wanted to be more than just friends with Bria. Though I could see why everyone liked her so much, I always thought that I was going to cross the boundary of friendship. The other guys did. They managed to date her at some point in their 8th grade year. And I was like, you ruined your friendship. You tarnished it in a sense. Even though you're still all in the friend group and we still all talk and everything. But in a sense, you ruined your image of what she thinks of you in her head. I recently had a conversation with her last year before she blocked my phone number, because I was just calling her number every now and then because I just wanted her to pick up, because I'm not a stalker per se. I think I've had this problem too. I liked this girl named Insha a couple of years ago. 2019 or 2020 this happened. I had a fascination with her. I actually liked her. I had a crush on her. I almost initiated it. I even wrote a poem for her called I Like You Insha or something like that in my church or whatever. And we were both in the same REC or same Saturday school thing, if you think about it. 17 minutes to go, I guess, if I want to actually do more than that, I can. I'm losing my voice here, but I'm doing it for the best. I'll take a rest. Just calm my brain for 1 second. Here's the thing. I talk all the time. I have a tendency to talk. I have a tendency to stop talking as well and just play games or write poetry or do other things and use outlets. Like I said the other day with my mom, talked to my mom the other day, and then when I came out to my mom, she was the first person I came out to before I came out to my dad during my behavioral therapist session and everything, because he didn't realize that I was bi, but my mom knew. I told her not to tell my dad because he's just very keen with his thoughts in a sense. He knows what he knows. He feels what he feels. My mom and both just feel just feel like it's wrong to but they both understand. In this day and age, we're all so rapidly evolving. We can never sit still, but we can always sit still, if you know what I mean. Like, we're always running, but we can walk. We keep jogging and jogging and jogging on this treadmill of life, per se. Like, just go along with this analogy that I'm going with. We keep running on this treadmill, basically, and we never stop to think how it might have, not we, more so my case, I guess, in my personal experience, but I could also apply to other people as well, I guess, that I never stop to think what other people might think of me, because I just think, or what my actions might actually alter people's perception of me, in a sense. I just keep jogging on this treadmill and going through these boundaries, hopping through these hoops, just like jogging on this treadmill, just running and running and running and running and running. I never slow down, because I can't. I'm an immigrant. I have to be faster. I can't. I'm not. I don't have white privilege. I don't have all these privileges that everyone else has. I can't be perfect. I can't be the son that my mom always wants me to be. I can't be the son my dad always wants me to be. I can't be the perfect brother that my sister wants me to be. I can't be a perfect student. My school counselor, my grief school counselor, Miss Perkins and Miss K want me to be. They all just know. They know everyone's going through things. She knows that I have GAD. They all will talk with me. They all know my emotions. They know my landscape, my introspectiveness, my pleasingness, my seekingness, my awareness. I'm always self-aware of my actions, but I never take into account what how it might affect other people all the time, because I'm always just running. I'm always just jogging on this treadmill. I'm back. Okay. Like Bo Burnham, Tim Minchin, media, every type of media teaches us something, no matter what it is. It never stops teaching us. So we're always just learning. Media, I don't think TV is too bad. TV is good in moderation. Everything is good in moderation. TV is good to cool down, chill, have a good time. But you can't, one second, let me pull this one thing up that Abed said in Community. I even have it. Maybe it's in my notes. Okay, I wrote this poem called The Discrimination of Muslims and Asians. You guys can listen to it, I guess. This applies to everything that I'm saying as well. I think it is time to let our voices be heard. We are all people of different races. Once I remember in 7th grade, a girl said, "Go back to your terrorist parents" to me at lunch when I tried to join her group. Every day I think there must be Asians being oppressed in some way, shape, or form. The discrimination of Muslims and Asians. I feel like when people call me Indian, they are mocking me for not being Indian. They played the Indian version of Moonlight during history class freshman year. They think they can find a ticker stop me, but they never can. The discrimination of Muslims and Asians. I feel I have a responsibility to make my voice heard. Day in and day out, I empathize with the people that get bullied for their race. I remember the hate crimes towards Asians in the Asian salon, and I heard over the news that the shooter had no agenda. They always have an agenda every single time. Every single time. The discrimination of Muslims and Asians. I guess by making this poem I made like a while ago, when I made this poem May 8th. It was the same day that I watched The Hate You Give movie, because I have the book. I read that a while ago. But the point is, I watched it from a different perspective because I hadn't read the book in a while, so I was able to venture through my eyes with a different vantage point and see the movie. This was the only time that I could actually see a book and a movie on equal grounds, and they actually both like stood out to me. They both were respectively good in their own medias, their own literature, media. They're all medias, right? So they're all there, They're all teaching you something. I think in this one, I learned that I code switch all the time. I didn't learn that. I knew that I code switch all the time. I just didn't know that there was a word for it. I forgot that there was a word for it, really. And then that at home, I'm just Zame. I'm Zame that you see right now. I'm this man that you see in front of your screen. But when I'm at school, I have to calm down my speech. I took speech in elementary school all the way to like 4th or 5th grade because I was an immigrant. I had to repeat kindergarten for crying out loud, and like I didn't want to. I remember as a kid when I remember this vividly. I have good memory, but I don't remember lots of things. But I remember this. I was just sitting in front of Miss Eichenhorst's classroom in elementary school, and Miss Peltier was like, he needs more, whatever. But like, I didn't understand at that time. But then I realized that it helped me develop as a person more. Because if it wasn't for me repeating that grade, even though I would be a senior right now and I would be graduating with all the other seniors right now in 2022, and instead I'm graduating 2023, it's only 1 year off. Just with Ryan, my friend Ryan, did like 2nd grade again or something, and he's like already 18. He's turning 19 this year, and he'll be graduating when he's like 20 or 19 or something. And it doesn't matter because he's still gonna get the same education, the same opportunities. He has the same friends as me. He still is a good person. Ryan is amazing. James is amazing. Lane is amazing. Miss Stevens is a great person. Miss Anderson is a great person. Mr. Anderson is a great vice principal or whatever. Like, he does like a lot of stuff. I've gone into detentions all my life. Really, not all my life. Since like 7th grade, really. It's more so that I not even since 7th grade, probably even before that in elementary school. I've always been reprimanded because I've never been able to do the right thing, I guess, in a sense. I'm always just going backwards but forwards at the same time, if that makes sense. I understand my own capabilities, but I don't stop. Like, I could stop the video right now. I could stop playing. I could stop recording, but I don't want to. And you know why? Because I feel like I want my mind to falter. I want to keep recording. But what am I doing by that? Just preventing the inevitable, which is the end of this recording, the end of this video, the end of my desire to finish this video. Like Bo Burnham did in Inside. He didn't want to finish the special because he felt like it was such a good thing. He didn't want Inside to be done because he just wanted to keep working on it. It gave him something to do. And when he was done with it, he felt like he didn't have anything to do. Not really have anything to do. More so that like he really like he worked with other people as well. But like more so for the majority of the project, it was just him working on the movie, doing everything, editing, directing, acting, cinematography, doing everything to make it well. I guess because the central point of this is really Bo Burnham in a sense. If I can just relate the point back to one sentence, it would be that life is like a road that never stays still. We're always just going on the yellow brick road, Wizard of Oz, stuff like that, were always just messed up. No one is right. No one is wrong. No one is truly right. No one is truly wrong. Scientists are not wrong. They're never really wrong. They're not always right. Even Charles Barkley, Stephen Hawking, Einstein, Albert Einstein, they were never wrong. They always did. They worked really hard in their fields, and on Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein, they technically sort of like worked hand in hand in a sense. But if you understand, you understand. If you don't understand, you don't understand. I don't really want to go more into it because I have a lot to talk about, and I only have 5 minutes because I want to make it the same duration as the Inside movie, I guess, special or whatever. Because this is more so not just about the inside commentary of the outtakes or whatever. It's more so just a philosophical intonation of like who we are as people. Because I want to create content. I want to be a musician at some point. Probably not like full time, probably part time. I want to actually be an artist. I've always loved singing since elementary school. I've always loved being social. You know what I miss? I miss James. James will never go for my heart. James. He's amazing. He's a great guy. And I wish I could still stay friends with him, but I realized that I've moved on from him. His tragedies, his brashness, his antiquity, his digestible information that he always gives out to people, because even though they don't ask it, the same thing that I do, but I keep it to a minimum half the time. I talk a lot, but I understand that my articulation is just a condensation of my thoughts. I'm always just thinking because that's all I can do. Because if I don't think, I'm not dead, but I'm just not me. So back to the point, I guess. Let's get enough of that. The point is, I'm not normal. I'm not autistic. I just have generalized anxiety disorder. I just am tired all the time, 24/7. Not because I want to be, but because I've always been tired since like 7th grade. I've had depression for 6 years because I wasn't able to realize my own pain until quarantine really came around, and I understood the pain of losing a friend, of losing James. James was such a good friend. You make friends, you lose friends, you get through life because life is like the yellow brick road. You just keep walking. You literally just keep walking. You can't stop moving. Every day is a clear slate. But not really, if you think about it in the large scheme of things, because we're not perfect. Human beings are all flawed, like I have reiterated before. I have 2 minutes now. It's closing up. I have to make my wrapping arguments. I guess in the end, James, Lane, whatever, Noah, Michael, Aki, he's an artist. He doesn't go to Fuku, but he's still friends of mine. He's still technically a friend of mine because I've known him for a while, and he knows everyone I know. But we're all just people, just trying to live our lives. James wants to be James. He told me he figured out his sexuality when he was in 4th grade. It took more like very early on. He told me that he's always made me like do things that I would never do. I wouldn't. He's a good person, And even if this goes over the 1 minute 27, it doesn't matter. The point is that I just want to get my thoughts out there because people will always generalize my thoughts and always keep me constricted in a box because I am not who I am. I am just a man. I'm just a 17-year-old kid who's becoming 18, August 18, trying to date, trying to live a life, trying to I've gotten rejected multiple times. Oh, I didn't say the story, did I? Oh yeah, it's hurting now my throat. It's probably what motivational speakers feel like. Tony Robbins. Oh yeah, I went to like a Tony Robbins summit camp thing. That was fun. Made some friends. He's told me that he's always like his brother is like a teacher. James James is a good person. And I don't hate James. I don't dislike him. I and those things I said about him being an asshole or being a bitch, he's not either one of those things. He is a good person. He's just flawed. I'm flawed as well. Everyone in the world is flawed. Ellie Wimberly, I mean, I don't even care that I'm saying her full name, but Ellie is flawed as well, but she is perfect from the inside and outside, I feel, in a sense. Not perfect in a sense, but almost perfect because she works really hard. I've known her since elementary school because and now we're about to graduate. She'll probably be valedictorian because she has a really good GPA. She's like 4.0, like always. She has like hundreds all the time. She works really hard. She makes sure that she always gets what she wants, you know? I don't want to cry, but I'm just sad. I guess this is more like a confession, you know. This is me. No glasses. I had to get glasses in like 6th grade or 7th grade or something. The summer of the 6th grade. Since then I've had glasses, but I didn't realize it before because I was always standing close to the board. The point is, I don't really want to be friends with James anymore. I've moved on. It took me 2 years to move on. I've talked with people on Discord. I anonymously and said some things that was able to really understand my perspective and his perspective in a sense. I was able to talk with people. I've been hurt multiple times, but been rejected multiple times. I've like Emma. Oh, sweet Emma. She's amazing. But like I asked her out in 8th grade. She had a boyfriend at the time, so she declined. But then she didn't have a boyfriend. I could have made a move, but I didn't because I'm not that type of guy. I don't just slide in at the last moment. I and then she's dating a girl or something because she's probably also bi or something like that. Because and I knew her boyfriend because he was in my STEM class, and I just feel that like. It's just so hard, you know? It's just so hard. To live your life knowing that you're always going to be making mistakes, but you can never stop making mistakes. I guess what I want to say is that like I don't want to be misconstrued, but like I always am. I'm always misconstrued. I'm always every time I think people just try to take me as a person that always has like a deeper meaning, but I don't. I don't have a deeper meaning all the time. I know a lot of stuff. I'm not the smartest human being on the world. I don't know everything. I will never know everything. Like For instance, I've been in choir for since sixth grade. Been in musicals and everything since elementary school, and I was on a basketball team with my for the basketball tournament, and we won because of Daniel, because of the 3-pointer shot that he made, like a buzzer beater at like the very last second. We were in the finals, and we would have still gotten a medal. But the point is, we won. I was on the team. I contributed. I was doing defense, passing the ball. I was mostly just contributing, and I was working at it. And I was able to do it because we had worked so hard to get to that point in the basketball tournament. Because I had done drills, I had done suicides, which are drills. I had done games with other kids at recess. It was my last real recess was fifth grade. After that, I never really got a real recess experience. It was more like PE sort of, but like physical education, bear buddies and stuff like that. It's more like I never articulated my own stance in life until COVID really hit, which I think everyone can really relate to in a sense, because we're all lost at sea at some point. We find our meaning, and then we try to strive to work towards that meaning. I think that's the problem with James in a sense. James he has every quality of a good human being. He's great. He's a great man. He's a great guy. He's great. I mean, I wish I could have gotten into acapella and choir. I've only gotten to upper tenor bass or whatever. That's fine because I was in fucking um, non-varsity for like 3 years because they fucked me over like 3 times. But I don't really care. I didn't even care anymore. The only reason I was had hope was because of Stephen, my friend Stephen, and every night I looked through the looking glass, the microscope or the and understood that there is light at the end of the tunnel, because I've just always been a guy. Maybe this is just for me. Maybe this is just a confession video that I'm making, and maybe I don't have to put this online, because sometimes when you're putting it online, you're gonna be judged. You're gonna be judged no matter what in life. That's why I feel like my life is a TV show, in a sense. I know it's not a TV show. I'm not selfish in a sense. I feel like it's not even a movie because a movie ends and TV shows end. I mean, my life is a movie basically, right? It's like the Truman Show, like in Jim Carrey's movie. Like he didn't even know that there was like a movie, or like there was like a whole his entire life was being recorded in this simulated reality or whatever, and that everything was happening to him, but he didn't know what was happening until he figured it out throughout the movie. But the point is like that we're all people judging everyone, and we're always striving to judge one another. That's why I wanted to become a journalist. That's why I'm doing yearbook next year, next fall for senior year, because I want to. If Karis leaves, she's editor in chief. If she leaves, I don't care. I've known Karis since. I'm naming people's names because I think they count. Because sometimes I feel like people are just saying names and they don't have any matter in the say or whatever of it. And people don't have liability in their name, of their name being used in anything, because they are being. I could technically be. Yeah, I could be like in the Johnny Depp v. Amber Heard case and be sued for defamation because I'm saying these people's names, but I'm using them in a context to where I know that either way, that all these people are really good people. Like, they all are flawed. I'm flawed. Everyone is flawed in the end of the day. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like I just want to be friends with everyone, I guess, in a sense. But I can't. No one wants to be friends with everyone. If you think about it, they're always just 2 steps behind, one step forward, 2 steps behind, sometimes. But for Ellie, sweet Ellie, she's a great human being. She has a boyfriend, Timmy. I know Timothy. How I wish I was in his shoes. How I wish that like I could have gotten to that thing earlier. not thing, but more like I understand Ellie in a level that she never will understand herself because I've known her for so long. But she knows herself better than anyone because she's herself. But I know her because I know her. I know Ellie. I know Daniel. I know Coach Marsh. I know Miss Miller. Oh, Miss Miller. Why did I bring her up? That brings back memories. She died and she passed away sadly, or rest in peace, Miss Miller, in 2016, 2017 because of cancer or breast cancer or like cancer or something. And like she helped me with my passion towards music and everything because of the musicals and everything. She put me in timeout because I was making a fuss sometimes, but they would always teach me. I got into Blue Suede Shoes by Elvis Presley. I did all these musicals and everything, and then in choir in sixth grade we did all these musicals and all these show choirs and stuff like that, and like these variety show and like The Greatest Showman and all this stuff. Like I just want to be a man who lives in society but is accepted. But I'll never be truly accepted, like I said at one time, because I won't. So I said in like a therapy server in a Discord at one point, but like yesterday or something. And I think I'll find someone eventually. I don't really want to just date a brown girl. Like, I don't want to date someone in my church right now or like in my religion right now. I want to just explore. I guess what I'm trying to say is like I guess I did have a crush on James. I had a crush on Lean Lane or whatever. I had a crush on Emma. I had a crush on like multiple people throughout my formative years, most of my formative years. I'm almost done with my childhood, anyways. More not childhood, more of my like youth, really stage. And then when I'm done with that, so when I get into my 20s, I'll never be able to really compensate for who I am as a person because I'll have already grasped my adulthood in a sense. I'll have to really grasp my full awareness of being an adult because I am an adult. Basically, I am almost 18. Romeo and Juliet laws technically apply to me if I wanted to, but it's still wrong. Honestly, if I wanted to date a 17-year-old person, I could because I'm still 17. If I was an 18-year-old trying to date an 18-year-old person, I could do that. That's fine. It all falls from the 3-year rule and everything. I don't really feel like I want to date anybody younger than me nowadays because I feel like I just want to date someone who's my age. So I'm getting into like stuff, trying to explore the pool, getting into like, stuff, dating apps and everything. I feel like, this is a confession, right? This is just a confession mostly. It's a confession video. It doesn't matter if no one sees this video. Hang on. Plus, I didn't even sleep the entire night tonight. I slept for probably an hour or so maybe, but then really I just like woke up and I was just like, no, I can't sleep tonight. So I watched a movie called What If with Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Krazan, and the two main characters and Adam Driver and someone else, Mackenzie Davis, who played Nicole. I've always loved Harry Potter. I got into fantasy. I got into Percy Jackson in 5th grade when there was like a Scholastic book for a free book thing, and they were giving out books, and that's how I got into reading really. Before that, I was never really interested into reading. I might lose my passion for reading I've probably lost my passion more so as it was in my formative years, but I think so. It's just more that I still understand and execute the premise of understanding and articulating literature because literature will never go away. It's just going to be compromised or decompromised or just uh, sought out in different ways, it's never going to be correct, because literature is divine. Any form of literature, religious literature, nonfiction, fiction, realistic fiction, YA, fantasy, any type of literature that affects a human being, or comic books, or graphic novels, or anything, they all teach a lesson. They all show us that no matter what, the human race, society, or people, or the acclimating climate of our society, again, I would say it's not more like society is not like a prefrontal area of this, I guess. And James was my best friend, by the way. I want to put that out there. He will never not be a good person. He's always going to be a good person. He's always worked hard. But like I guess I'll get back to the point. The point is what is the point? What is the point truly? Am I right? No person really knows. And I don't know. I don't know what the point is. I created a debate club in 8th grade, and second semester lasted for a couple of weeks every Tuesday and whatever. Had my sponsor, Miss Gonzalez, and then it fizzled out because of COVID, mostly because they were able to handle it for that 1 year when I was in 8th grade, and then I was in 9th grade. They were going to do it for another year, but I forgot to appoint a vice president or something. I put it up to Miss Gonzalez to do it, but she never did. She was never there, if you know what I mean. She wanted to be a sponsor, but she never wanted to be associated with a brand, in a sense. Like, I did so much for it, just working at that club. And then I've been in like poetry club, GSA club, because I'm bisexual. So, and then I'm trying to create an improv club, or maybe like a mental health awareness club, or like something that will actually help people. I think improv helps people. I can probably just find an improv troupe, or like find improv sessions anywhere, technically. I don't really have to make a club at school. It could be fine, to be honest. I can just find improv, like a server on Discord, and just do that. I don't really need to work and acclimate my time and presence into doing that. I think it's more so that if I made like a mental health awareness club, or like a AV club. I want to make an AV club because of like Stranger Things and stuff like that, but because of Bob. Bob founded it. He was the one that founded it. It wasn't the other guy. It was Bob. But it's just always like I just think that we're always being hard on ourselves. Like I just want to be accepted, truly accepted. But the truly will never come. I'll be accepted. Of course I'll be accepted in my various communities I'm in school, my church or whatever, or even if whatever. I'm still exploring every aspect of my life in different forms. I'm not sure how I've managed to keep talking for an hour and 45 minutes, basically. But it's now 8 a.m., Tuesday, May 31st. 2022, as the anniversary of my song, the last day of May, and I think my YouTube channel really represents who I am as a person. Really, it showed my growth in a sense. My poetry does in a sense too. I love all my poetry, but I think it just always need woodworking. It always need like polishing. Like it needs to keep going back to the station and just keep working at it. In a sense, you never really know. I've always been intuitive in a sense. I understand people. I understand their minds. I understand how people work. I did sociology and psychology in school, one semester each, like back to back in 10th grade, and I understood so much. I've retained a lot of that education because I wanted to learn that education, so I got both of them back to back because I wanted to learn. Phantom ring. I think there's a ring on my finger, but there's not. Yeah. And Lane was my best friend, and she she's no longer really like my friend. I guess she's more like a casual. I mean, not she. Sorry, they. He's more of like. Sorry, don't want to misgender anyone. I'll keep that at a minimum. But he is still like I think a friend technically. He's still technically a casual friend of mine. I wouldn't call him a casual acquaintance because I think we're way past that. We're way past that. I've known him since elementary. uh, Gosh, elementary school. Miss everyone. I miss the environment because as I've grown older, I've understand environments changed. Like my teacher, Mr. Van Bammel, or all these people. Like, sorry. I'm never right, but I'm never wrong. If you know what I mean. I'm never right, but I'm never wrong. I have judgment. I have good judgment 80% of the time. I don't have any bad judgment. Okay, let's see all the people I've discussed so far. Lane, Noah, James. I'll never refer to him by his real name because I don't think he'd want to publicly be outed by his real name because he himself knows that like James. Sorry, let me get through it. It's Caroline. I technically just Krista, um, Caitlin Feezer. Her mom was my sixth grade math teacher. Um, Daniel, Sahir, David, Jacob Dix, Injustice 2, Supergirl. I don't know. That's just naming names now. But the point is like, I'm just fed up. I'm fed up of feeling like a failure all the time. I guess in a sense. I understand I'm not a failure. I'm just lazy. I'm not incompetent. I'm just lazy. I procrastinate a lot. I understand that I can do much more with the time given. I can keep working and working and working, but I keep lingering on my work until the deadline and then I actually get it done, but it's never good enough because I didn't it was always sloppy. Given at the last second. Like Big Nate, he would always just like give stuff at the last second to Miss Gonzalez or like Miss whatever her name was, Miss Gotard or something like that, his social studies teacher, because he's stuck in sixth grade, just like uh, Greg Heffley is stuck in like seventh grade or sixth, yeah, seventh grade forever. The thing is, I think the reason these authors stick these people into these categories or grades or whatever is for a purpose. Is for that more people, younger readers can read, and then if they keep writing those, keep series and everything. Like Diary of a Kid is going on to like the 17th book now, and I'm just like 17 or whatever, and I'm just like, wow, I only have like 11 of his books, and it's only because I've liked the series for so long, and I like media. I like art. I like being an artist, but I can never truly fully articulate my thoughts because I'm always just bouncing from thought to thought. And this is more of like a video essay, I guess. More of like it's like commentary video essay sort of thing. It's like I understand like Bo Burnham. I understand that like he works so hard, and I just feel bad for him sometimes. Like Lorena and his dog, and he has a great life, and he works really hard. And I guess in a sense, if I want to really truly end this in like 5 minutes or something. If anyone someone will probably tell me to get the fuck up from here, but okay. Some people talk for more than 2 hours. I've just been able to maintain a conversation with myself for 2 hours, really. If you think about it, I'm not insane. I think this is probably what Bo Burnham was feeling towards Inside. He was talking to himself for a year in a sense. Not really himself. He was talking with Lorena probably. I think what happened was he would just go to like the other house or whatever. It was more of like a studio basically, and he would like spend like a couple hours there, and then he would come back to his other house with Lorena and just like spend time with his dog. And then at the end of the day, he would still be with his relationship because he understood how valuable that relationship is to him. Because he's been with Lorena since like 2013 or like 2011 or something like that for like more than 10 years or something, on and off. And like not on and off, but as like a couple or whatever, you know, couples. I think I bounce from thought to thought because I can't stop. Like I've said before, but I've always just had this tendency to just keep going. And keep going is all I know. And people just think, no. I guess at the end of the day, if I'm actually ending this video in a little while, that I just want people to know that people are flawed. I'm morally flawed. I will never be like Aristotle, my mentor. I aspire to be like Aristotle, but I will never live up to his aspirations. I'll never live up to his ethics. I'll always be trying to seek and aspire for more, but I'll never understand what he wanted to be. Because no, I will understand because there's so much literature out there. But the point is that like I am Zayn. I'm Zayn Gujani. I cannot live in the past or the future or the present. I can just live in the present, but I can live in every single moment of my life. But all I think about is the past because I think about the past because I think why am I torturing myself with this cruel irony of just going through this life hazily in a sense. My throat is pretty itchy, like I said. My throat is pretty itchy, pretty itchy, just growls like a little boy. I mean, no one's gonna finish this entire video. It's gonna be 2 hours long. The point is, I can keep talking and talking and talking, but if I don't get my message across, there's gonna be no point in making this video essay. The inside outtakes were great. I didn't finish all of it. I didn't finish the entire video. I watched the songs. I watched all those things. But I think the point at the end of the day is that if I just want to connect it to what the beginning thing was, and I'll just say inside, Bo Burnham, artists, we are all trying to work at it every day. We're all broken. We're all tortured. Or like he made a song called Art is Dead. Art is dead. Art is dead. All these poor people. Yeah, so like honey and me. Butter. You know, like he relates with man and self actualization, and like he did in that song how the world works, myopic self actualization and like articulation of man and human and philosophical garble, because basically all I'm doing is just garbling and mumbling words, and the only thing you can do as the audience member is interpret what I'm saying, because you are my vessel, you are my muse. I am just aspiring to just see through the haze and look through the water. I watched Heartstopper the other day on Netflix, and I watched a couple episodes, and it's so good because I had a gay crisis as well, full-on gay crisis, since I'm bi and everything. It happened in like 8th and 9th, 10th grade and everything. I've just been like trying to conform with my identity in a sense, but like I'm pretty sure I'm still on the spectrum, like an LGBTQ spectrum. I just think that it's just like hard for me because I when I realized in 8th grade it was more like I was coming back from the library and everyone was linking arms, and not everyone, but like some couples were linking arms and everything, and I realized I have biphobia in a sense. And there's all this biphobia because there's all these single people out there, all these like straight people out there, and I was like, I just want to be accepted, you know. And then I realized that I'm bi, and then I realized that I've always been bi, but that's why I'm able to connect so well with people. I think it's because of my identity. It's because I don't think of man and women and trans people or non-binary people as any less than me. I think of them all as people. Because some people just devalue another person or degrade another person, and they just keep degrading that person until that person feels hopeless. I felt like that multiple times in my life. I felt like I'm being degraded in various aspects of my life because I can't get out of this situation. I still feel like I'm being brought down by my environment, but I think that's just how some people feel. But I'm working at it, and that's all I can do is work at it. At the end of the day, all I can do is work on my emotions. All I can do is work on my speech. I had like a speech impediment too, I think, early on, but then I worked on it with speech, but doing speech in elementary school. But it was more like I think I understood why why I am the way I am. Why I'm always so trivialized by tiny things in life, because I just know that it's just hard. Life is hard, and life isn't fair. It's not fair. It will never be fair. Some people are biased. You will never get the same opportunities as other people. You will always be dismissed for other opportunities, but you'll always get to where you want to go if you work at it. It's just a matter of time. It's just how you look at it. It's just your perspective. I always look through life as like gray zone. Like I'm always just a little bit gray. I think I'm a gray person, to be honest. I think I am morally gray as a person. I make so many bad choices, but I counteract it with so many of these good choices. So then people see this good person as a facade on the outside, but they don't see this person who just like curses at people and says fuck or whatever, just says the F word, or just says things that he shouldn't say, and I just don't want to mess up anymore because I think I'm done messing up. I think I'm done messing up. Yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah, I just want to finish it because there's like a minute left until like 2 hours or whatever. So I guess I'll just like wrap up like for 1 minute. I'm done articulating my feelings, my thoughts, my prayers, my emotions, my observations. I think if I talk more, I'm only just going to articulate on the thoughts that I've already said before, and I'll just go on and on and on and on. So, my parents are going to wake up in a little while, so I got to post this. Or if I don't post it, then it doesn't matter as well. But it doesn't matter because we're all human beings, or we're all part of society. Animals, plants, living beings, trees, grass, dirt. Everything is natural. Everything is there's so many unnatural things. Society as a whole is always acclimating to its change, and we're always working at it. That's all I want to say today. So thank you for listening to me. This is my YouTube channel, Zaim Gajani. Please subscribe, like, follow click the notification bell if you want to see my videos pop up in your thing and everything. And just thank you for listening to me, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Thank you, Zaim, me, myself, and thank you for it being May 31st, 2022, a year exactly from my song called Last Day of May. Bye for now.